Lesson number 1. Iron Man 2, there's no such thing. Iron Man 3 is the sequel to the Avengers slash Iron Man 2. Now, granted, I think we all can agree Iron Man 2 was an entertaining movie, but it missed so many marks as being a good Iron Man film. Now, like I said before, Iron Man 3 is the sequel to the Avengers, and you can't live up to that magnitude of the Avengers because the Avengers was an epic movie event of comic proportion. So it can't be matched by that. But as an Iron Man film, it hit its mark. Now, going off the bat, the performances in this movie. Robert Downey Jr. I feel, is just born to play Tony Stark because he just fits his personality so good. He has a charismatic attitude, the quirks, the joke, the one-liners, everything. He's just born to play Tony Stark. And this movie is directed by Shane Black. As you guys don't know, he directed Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, also starring Robert Downey Jr. And that movie, what I thought was pretty good. And you see here, you see the style of Shane Black in this movie. It's like it's just pasted all over this movie. In Iron Man 3, we got Tony Stark going up against the Mandarin. And the Mandarin is the most iconic villain versus Tony Stark. And it's played by Sir Ben Kingsley. In this movie, Ben Kingsley, for what he did a good job. Honestly, and I don't want to get into spoilers because I think it'll ruin it if you haven't seen the movie, but I'll get into that a little later. But for the most part, I look at Iron Man 3 as the Marvel's version as The Dark Knight Rises. Not as dark as The Dark Knight Rises, because when you look at it, with The Dark Knight Rises, you got Bruce Wayne traveling as a character, struggling as Bruce Wayne, more so than Batman. It's the same way in Iron Man 3. You see Tony Stark struggle more than Iron Man struggle. So we see more Tony Stark than we do Iron Man, which was not bad because it delves more into the character. One thing I like about this movie is that you see him going up against, like I said before, the man, his most powerful villain out there. And you also see the after effects of what he did in the Avengers. So you have a little tie in there. And one thing I like about this movie is that it stuck to the comic books, because all over, you can just tell, if you guys are true comic book fans or a nerd of comic books and into the lore of Iron Man, you see a lot of Warren Ellis and you see a lot of Matt Fraction's writing in this movie. You get Matt Fraction's first story arc when he did the first Iron Man in his run, and you see the Warren Ellis of Extremist storyline in this movie. So one thing I did like about this movie is that the story went well for what it did, because they stuck close to the comics. And this movie is a twist. And for me, the twist, I gotta say, did I like it? I don't know. I mean, I see why they went with the twist, but then I said, you kind of ruined certain performances or made the person seem less of a prominent role in there. Iron Man 3 is much better than Iron Man 2 because it stuck to the story and it took its source material straight from the comic books, because it's straight from Matt Fraction and Warren Ellis storylines. The action was there. Enjoyed the action. It wasn't fast paced like the Iron Man 2 where it was just like quick snap and it was gone. It was enjoyable. Now, more about the twist. Now, the twist for me, like I said before, I see where it went, but I'm 50-50 on twist. I didn't like it, but I see why they went with it. I could have did a different way of doing that twist a little bit, or a different way of going with that comes to that storyline. The twist, I felt that kind of brought the movie down a little bit, but I enjoyed Iron Man 3 for what it was, especially the ending. The ending of this movie was much better than Iron Man 2, and made it a little better than Iron Man 1. But obviously, if you're looking for a good summer movie, this movie starts it off. Honestly, it does. Iron Man 3 starts off the summer movies for me. I highly recommend you guys seeing Iron Man 3. And if you guys see Iron Man 3, see it in IMAX, because that's the best way you see a movie ever. So I really enjoyed Iron Man 3. And I'm going to give Iron Man 3 4 out of 5 stars. Enjoyed it. Like I said before, the twist could have been done differently, I thought. That's a little small problem I have with it, but it's much better than Iron Man 2. So you can live with that. So if you like this review, please rate, comment, and subscribe. And if you don't subscribe for some reason, you'll never see me coming.